Hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. Hey, babe, guess what?
My name is Brian.
And my name is Cora, and we will be your host today. Before we get started, we would like to remind any of you listening to hit the like button and subscribe if you liked what you heard and saw during this episode. Please make a comment in the show notes if you enjoyed this episode, and be sure to share it with your friends. So let's get into it, babe.
Let's get into it.
Okay, I'm going to change this aspect of this. That's so much better.
Whoa, look at that. So I think today we're going to talk a little bit about the holidays since we are in the middle of the holidays. We already passed Thanksgiving. We're coming up on Christmas.
Yeah.
And New Year's. So we're going to talk a little bit about the holidays.
Sweet. I have to say, Christmas is my favorite holiday, even more so than my birthday. Like it's like it because it feel like it's like when I was a child, it felt so magical. Even though I lived in Hawaii, I mean that was magical in itself.
Yeah.
But I knew when I was little that there was no. I never believed there was a Santa Claus. I know that's kind of messed up. Maybe when I was very little, I did believe.
Yeah.
Because, all the books and the movies, he goes down the chimney. I'm like, what's a chimney?
There's no chimneys in Hawaii.
No, nothing that I saw. Did you?
I don't think I believed in, not that I'm aware of. I don't know that I ever believed in Santa. I don't recall ever that being a thing or.
Wow, we're messed up. Well, we have to make sure children don't see this episode. So there's a Santa, you guys. You have to be good.
Yeah.
I keep, And, because my grandchildren and my daughter, they live with me, I have to, watch what I say. I can't, the magic has to still be there. So
magic has to happen.
Yeah. And it's so funny because Julia got Elf on the Shelf. So every night when she has kids, they have to do something creative and naughty, and they get into stuff or whatever, and they have to be caught in the act of doing it. Like, it's so cute. And it's like so I send her like a bunch of TikToks where people are so creative, and I love it. I love the creative aspect from the parents, and you have to like remember to do it before you go to bed. So you have to have like some kind of plan. And Giovanna,
it will be very interesting when you and I mesh our lives together. So for all of you, if this might be your first episode that you're watching, Cora and I don't live together. She lives in one state. I live in another state. We met 5+ years ago. We dated for a little bit, talked off and on, and roughly 8-ish or so months ago, right? Eight or so months ago, Cora decided she would pull her head out of her butt and start dating Brian.
Stop it. Oh my gosh.
It was a complicated journey, but she finally came around. I outweighted her.
At the time, I wasn't ready, and I was going through so much. And about 8 months ago, I was talking to my sister, and when I was talking about all the great things about you, and she was like, Cora, she was like, she didn't say it like that because she said it with her, she's from Hawaii. She lives in Hawaii.
Hawaiian.
So she said it with her local accent. But my family, they don't say my name the way it's supposed to be said. They don't say Cora.
They say with that twang.
Yeah, with they say, I can't even say it. They say Cara. It's like nasally. Cara, like that. I'm like, and when I was little, I used to think, isn't that my name Cora? There's
Yeah.
Even in school, I'm like, that's, and I used to be like, Anyway,
so it's going to be interesting. Our journeys separated us. I used to live in Oregon, but had a job opportunity and ended up moving to California and then to Arizona. So now we're in separate states, but we are working towards living in the same state here, hopefully shortly. And so when we do that, it's going to be interesting to mesh and meld our two different likes and dislikes with holidays, because to me, Christmas means almost nothing, um, much beyond the religious connotation for Jesus and all that. All the gifts and Santa and Christmas trees and all that stuff means zero to me. I almost never had it as
Oh,
a kid. We really didn't celebrate. Didn't really celebrate birthdays. Didn't really celebrate anything. I don't really remember celebrating a Mother's Day, a Father's Day.
oh,
Remember any of that stuff. But Thanksgiving was my big day. So that was the one day that everybody would stop fighting and bitching and hitting each other and complaining and yelling, and we'd all come together, and there was great food and it smelled good, and everybody kind of, for the most part, would team
get along.
together, and we would eat amazing food and get fat and happy and unbutton our pants and lay on the floor. And it seemed like for that day, everybody could, for
Like,
the most part, get along. And the food was, of course, amazing. I had a grandma that, she was my grandma by marriage. She was my real grandma, but she was my grandma ever since I was a little kid. Her name's Grandma Sharon,
mhm.
and she's long past now, but man, what a cook. She could cook. So we always had pies and amazing food and all that kind of stuff. So Thanksgiving's my day. Christmas is your day. I can't remember the last time I went and cut a Christmas tree. I don't ever get a Christmas tree. I don't ever decorate it
Fun. Ah,
unless I'm at somebody else's house. Like we went to my sister's house in Kansas, and this was probably a couple years ago, and I think we all pitched in, decorated the tree. And I'm sure there's been a few times
oh,
at work when they made me put together the tree or something. I'm sure I did
yeah.
it there, but
Well, babe, I'm so excited. I'm so
not a thing.
excited to we get to, oh, sorry, that was like a very excited face that I made, that we get to create our own tradition
Well, and
together because I love Christmas so much,
I
like, so
will do
much.
it for you, but it's like I said, it's not a thing for me. I will gladly and happily do it for you, but it's going to be interesting to create
Yay.
that.
Yay. No, my kids and I, we love it. We love it so much. Like, although, I mean, I grew up on an island, love Christmas so much, and they have lots of Christmas things that go. Like, I just saw like on my cousin Sissy, her page, like on her Instagram, like she went to like this Christmas festival. I don't know. It was like a parade in
Oh
on
yeah,
Kauai. It was probably like in downtown Lahui. I don't know. And she was with her grandkids. They're so cute, and well, they're older now, but um I was like, "Oh my gosh, I forgot." There's Chris. I got so excited when I saw like all the Christmas lights that she put up, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like, and then just like because I'm in Oregon, and when I moved here from Hawaii, I it was so exciting to like wear a coat because I had always envisioned. Stop! I had always envisioned like having it cold outside and wearing a coat and you could see your breath, and then there's like, evergreen, trees that are not, because I grew up where it's like tropical and there's
right,
like
right.
palm trees and all that. So it's like, um to have something be so different and the weather be something like I'd never experienced before. I loved it, but the first three, it took me 3 years to acclimate to Oregon. I was just
And
like,
you hate the cold,
I don't like, but I like it if I'm dressed properly and I'm only out there for a bit. You know what I mean?
so you hate the cold.
I like it if I'm dressed with the proper stuff. Like, the commercial with the gal from, I think she passed already, Columbia, the Columbia brand for the yeah, shit.
The Columbia brand.
You know, Columbia. Anyway, where she's out there with a coat and they're throwing snow at her. Her commercials were hilarious. What was her name? I can't remember. Gertrude or, oh, people are
I
gonna come at us for this one.
I don't
I
recall
don't
that
even
commercial.
know. Well, anyway, she was advertised. So you're warm right now. Look at you, and you're in Arizona, but you have your little chilly nights, so you can see why you're
Well, this is a real super thin. It's almost like a t-shirt.
okay. Oh, I like that. Oh, that color looks good on you. Just like,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Okay, so back to
Back to
Christmas.
Christmas. You're super excited about it. We're gonna meld and mesh our two separate passions or lack of passions to Christmas. And
I love
Thanksgiving, of course, I'm excited because you enjoy baking and cooking. So I'm sure we'll bake and cook together.
yes.
It used to be fun when, so some really good friends of mine, Joel and Michelle, they used to live up north on he was a border patrol agent and he was on the northern border for Washington and Canada. So I used to drive
I went
up
once. Yeah,
mhm, from the Portland area up there, which was like, was it like an 8 hour drive or 9 hour drive or whatever it was.
I
And
know.
I would drive up there for Christmas. We'd hang out and take the kids out shooting and cook up some great dinner and hang out with good friends. And so that to me was a good Thanksgiving. And I've had some interesting Thanksgiving, like a long time ago. I had some great friends, George and Holly, and I think we call it like the Misfits.
Oh, you're
It's like the
paused.
Misfits Thanksgiving, or it was something like that because none of us had families, and so
What's it?
collectively we
Friendsgiving.
all got together over at Holly's house and had a Thanksgiving, and it was really really cool.
I think
So
they call that Friendsgiving now. Sorry.
yeah, I don't remember what we called it back then, but it was just a number of us, and it was just a small group of us. But it was really cool to get together with really close friends at that time and have a Thanksgiving. And Thanksgiving for me hasn't always been with quote unquote family.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving's been over at like Mike's house or Chad's house or some other close friend. Um,
You're
but it's
breaking up
always
a little.
breaking up a
Your
little.
pho your well, your picture on my side is breaking up a little, but whatever.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
anyway, so Thanksgiving's always been my favorite, and I'm looking forward to spending that with you and cooking stuff with you. Right now, it's been interesting. The last couple of years, we go over to my sister Jenny's in Kansas, and I don't know that we were there actually on Thanksgiving, but we'll go a little bit before so we can all spend it together.
Mhm.
Just got
Oh,
back from
you're very digital looking.
um, on mine. It looks fine.
Oh, wow. Okay. I guess we'll see how it
But
comes out, but
yeah, we'll play it back. So go over to my
well,
sister's in Kansas, and we spend it over there. We typically go a little bit before Thanksgiving, but we spend a couple days together and have kind of a Thanksgiving. And a
mhm.
couple years ago was the first time my siblings and I had a Thanksgiving since I was like, I don't even know when, probably in like 30 or 30 plus years. So
Wow.
that was interesting and fun.
Yeah. Was that when you put up photos when you guys were doing, like, Jenga and stuff?
Yeah, yeah, we have some pretty serious Jenga competition. I think we're up to like 33 or 34 levels or whatever it is. And so we always, video and take pictures, and it becomes this big rowdy thing. And
Yeah,
it's fun
yeah,
just hang with family and having fun.
yeah. I think as we get older, as you and I, we're not old, but
Definitely
um,
not young.
we're not young, but we're not old. We'll always be young. We have to think. But, yeah, there's just yeah, each year is different. Like, I didn't even see my oldest daughter this year for Thanksgiving. During the day, I'm like, "Oh, I forgot to text her," or so I tried to call her and she was busy, and then I texted her, but I think she went over to her dad's, so she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was cooking. Kale and I are cooking," and they went over to my
Yeah,
ex-husband's, and before I
has her own
used to
life.
be like yeah, and before I used to be butthurt about it, but now I'm just like, "That's their dad, she's spending the holiday with him." But when I was going through all the nasty, like, trying to get through it, but now it's like, "No, I'm glad she gets to spend time with him," and then I got to spend time with my grandkids, and then, Julie and I got to spend time together, so it was very mellow. I don't put, like so Thanksgiving is very, like it's not like I know how to do the whole thing, trust me, like, I've done the whole everything, like, all the desserts, all the appetizers, the whole entire meal and sides. Um, I've done it, and I've done where I go over to my ex-husband's we mainly went over to his family's, and he has 3 sisters and a brother, so and his parents, and they would go all out. I mean, it was very fancy. She brought out her fine china. It was always so beautiful, and I just love she's such a great entertainer, and his sisters are too. So I learned so much from them. It's crazy just from observing.
Yeah.
Because I tell you, one of the sisters, Cheryl, she is she's an interior designer professional, and she's also like a general contractor. But boy, man, she's she does it all. I don't know how. Everything is delicious and beautiful, and it's like perfect, and everything is like your visually your eyes like the. I mean, they make it. It's so cool. I just loved it, and so for me, like that's what I like. I've done more Thanksgivings with my ex-husband's family than I did with my own family.
Oh yeah.
Because I moved to Oregon at 22, and um, then I met him in October, was of that year, and so I had done Thanksgiving with his family, and then I did Christmas, and so I had more holidays with his family than I did mine, and mine was pretty relaxed. It wasn't, we got the tree and we did like whatever, um and gifts and all that stuff, and we always had gifts. And I remember,
Had a Christmas tree in Hawaii. How much did it cost? Oh, was it a fake one?
no, we always had a real one.
Man, that
I
must have been expensive.
Yeah, but they would, I don't know, my we wouldn't get a giant one. We'd get a pretty medium-sized one with my
Still,
grandparents. But
Christmas
the
tree
thing
in
is, my
Hawaii had been expensive.
oh yeah, but with my grandparents, like we weren't always with them. My sister and I were kind of shoveled all over. So I don't have a lot. My sister has more memories than I do. Like I don't remember a lot. I know that although we had a very hard upbringing, we always had like at least a few Christmas presents under the tree, at least two. And I remember one year we didn't have any. My dad got a tree, but we didn't have any ornaments or decorations. So my stepmom, I think I was 6, so she popped some popcorn, and
Oh yeah,
she would
string
sew.
it.
She was
Yeah,
a like she would make her own quilts and stuff, so she had all her stuff, and so we would strung popcorn around the
yeah.
tree, and I thought it was the prettiest thing. I thought it looked so pretty and simple, and but then this is terrible. We kept walking by the tree and eating the popcorn.
Popcorn.
You would see sections, and then you'd see this like blank, and it's like hanging, and it was so funny. But it's crazy because like the tiny little simple things, like we were so poor, and then she thought of that because she's super creative. She was an artist. She's passed away a few years ago, and um I just loved it. Like that's one of my actual like good memories of Christmas. And it's
A good
always, I
one.
think, yeah, that's a good one. Even though, and I feel like if we had cranberries, we would have strung those up too, but we
Oh yeah.
didn't have any
Yep.
cranberries.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking when we put the popcorn on, I thought, wait a minute, don't we need red too? We need to put something red on there. But there was like nothing, red we could put on there. Um, but when I was little, I always thought, because I always wanted like more than one tree. Some people do a Christmas tree in each room, but I always wanted to do when I moved here, like a Hawaiian Christmas tree, and people do it where it's just like this is like a tattoo I'm trying to get rid of, and there was hibiscus flowers on here, and I wanted to do one with like beautiful, different colored like hibiscus. Anyway, that's a
That'd be cool.
tradition I wanted to tell you about, and there's like so many I have. Like you're gonna be like, what? But to me, it's like it just it's exciting, and for me to like start over with you, it's so exciting. Like my kids know how much I love it, and so they're like, I told them like, oh my god, he's like, you're excited to do it because it's like a blank slate for both of us. We get to like start.
Well, we're in Arizona. We're gonna have a fig tree. So when I lived in Oregon, I do remember going a few times and cutting down Christmas trees. And Joel and I one year went. His brother, I think, was renting a place, and it was either on a Christmas tree farm or next to Christmas tree farm. so,
Wow.
so Joel and I went on this clandestine operation, and we were stealing a Christmas tree. His brother Dan's like,
Oh,
"Just come steal one." We're like, "Okay." And so we are getting this Christmas tree, and his brother comes pulling up, and we pop out, and he's like, "Oh my god, what are you guys doing?" We're like, "Well, stealing a Christmas tree." And they're like, "Oh, that shit hot!" So we stole ourselves a Christmas tree.
Oh my
And I remember having a Christmas tree a few years at our house, and I remember trying to find enough bulbs with the little wire hangers and trying to find the ones that weren't that broken, and trying to decorate. And I remember taking things we make at school, like the little Christmas tree chains, little paper chains out of
yes.
like white
Oh,
and red and green.
yeah,
And so you'd hang that somewhere on there. And
yeah,
I remember bringing one of those one year, because you take off one ring every day you get close to Christmas. And so I remember
yeah.
one year as a little kid, we had that, and I think it was hanging like in the archway or something. And so every
Oh,
day I'd take one off, and you're one day closer to Christmas. And it was always funny and interesting, because you really, in a lot of occasions, you really wouldn't get much. But I remember my grandma in California, my mom's mom, she'd ask us what we'd want, and we'd get in the catalog, like the Sears catalog or one of the catalogs, and go looking. And I remember she'd ask me what I want. I'm like, well, I need a jacket, and I need pants. I need some shoes. I need some
oh,
socks. And it's like, well,
babe.
what do you want? I'm like, well, that's what I need. I need a jacket. I need pants. She's like, yeah, but
Oh,
toys. What do you want? I'm like, toys. Man, I need clothes. I don't have any clothes. I need something to wear.
you're making me
So anyway,
sad right now.
she got me this Battlestar Galactica. It's like this big toy, and it was like a launcher. And you pull it back on the rubber band, and you pull the trigger and let the rubber band go, and it would launch out the little Viper, little warplane things out of the Battlestar Galactica. Man, that was my favorite toy for the longest time. I had
Oh
that
my
toy for forever.
oh my god. How old were you now?
I don't know. I was a little
Mhm. That's really sweet. It makes me sad that you
second,
knew you
third
needed
grade.
clothes, though. Oh.
Yeah. So that's what I asked for Christmas: underwear and socks and shoes. I needed a jacket, and
Oh, babe. Ugh.
it wasn't
You know
stuff
what?
that you want. It was stuff that you need.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I just remember asking for toys. Like, I just wanted toys.
I'm
And
sure
you
I
know what's
probably asked for
crazy?
some at some point.
I never this is gonna sound like we would look at the Sears catalog. Is that what you're saying? You looked at the
Oh,
Sears
oh,
catalog?
the catalog, yeah,
Yeah,
you
Sears
bet you.
catalog. Oh my gosh. We would just dream. We'd just look and dream because we never got anything that we wanted out of there. We would circle the things we wanted. We would
Oh, yeah.
earmark pages and
Oh, you betcha.
yeah, but we would never we'd go back and look at it and stare at it and dream, but we never got the toys that we wanted.
Yeah,
Um,
hell no.
yeah, like, I don't I remember and you know what's sad is I don't remember anyone asking me what I wanted for Christmas. I guess that's not sad, but, um, I just, like, I don't know if it's part of my personality, but I never wanted to ask for anything big because I knew we didn't have money, so I'm like, I didn't wanna ask for and, of course, no one's gonna ask Santa, so,
I remember
even though
one
he
time
does
being,
exist.
what, I think it was either Kmart, or no, I think it was Fred Meyer. So we lived in Sweet Home. It's a little tiny town in Oregon, and we drive to Albany, and Albany was like the big town. I think back then it was probably like
No?
50 or 60 or 70,000 people or something, and that was the big town. So we drive from Sweet Home to Albany, and that was,
Mhm.
30, 35, 45-minute drive. And we're in Fred Meyer. And I remember seeing a bag. It was a little plastic bag of those little plastic army men. And it was 99 cents for this bag of army men. Oh,
Yeah.
man. I wanted that bag of army men. And my dad chewed me out, made me cry for asking for those army men.
No.
Oh, it was so what I learned from that is just don't bother asking. There's no point. It's useless. I don't, whatever hassle you're going to get on the back end of asking, there was no point. So I was lucky, and I had good friends like Scott Hay and Mike and Phil Ryder and Joel Burks. And these guys all, when I'd go to their house, they all had cool toys. I mean, like Scott had all the Star Wars toys. So man, I got all to play with all the Star Wars stuff. And Mike and
Mhm.
Phil had Fisher Price and G.I. Joe and all these little cool deals. And Joel
Oh.
Burks and I played with Hot Wheels. So as I'd go to my friend's house, then you get to play with toys.
Yeah, yeah. I was like that too. I never had a Barbie. I was one of those girls that never had a Barbie, and, um, I always wanted one so desperately, so bad, and I remember going in, this one store in La Jolla, and it was like Crest Street or something. It's like one of the main streets down there, and there was this one store, and I can't remember what it was, but we were in the clearance section because my grandma always headed straight to the clearance section, and she's Filipino, you know? So she would go to her place where she likes to hang out in the clearance section, and there was, like, this little shoe. It was, like, this one shoe and I must have been, like, I think I was 3 or 4, and you're still you have no idea about, things and buying and all that stuff, right? So it was like one little shoe, and I knew it went to a Barbie. It's like a little high heel shoe, and I knew it. I just knew, and so I took it and I put it in my grandma's purse. I had her smuggle it out for me. Ah,
Your grandma
and
was
she
your
found
mule.
out. Huh? She
Your
was my
grandma was your mule.
was. She was. So
Yeah, good job.
I wanted it so bad. I got the one shoe, and she found out, and she was so mad. Um, but it's not like she was gonna drive all the way back to return this tiny little shoe. And I just remember being so upset with me and like and for the shoe. And I'm just like, and I never really that's the closest I got to having a Barbie. This little shoe, this little
Yeah.
high heel. And would go over to this one friend of ours. My sister and I, we were just like, we didn't have stuff. We really didn't. And so we went over to our friend's house, Keiki Harding, and we kind of had a friend group. It was my sister Jackie and I, and we kind of called each other, like we considered each other cousins, like all of these other are my dad's friends' kids. We would say uncle and auntie, and we considered all of
Right,
them,
right.
cousins. But so there was Keiki, and there was her her cousin, her real cousin, Zach Harding. And then there was Rochelle Gordinez, which she's Rochelle Ballard now. She's a professional surfer. So we used to all we were like a little gang, and we used to just hang out. And Keiki had she was so girly, and she had the prettiest room, and she had all these Barbies and stuff. And I just remember being so in awe of she had hair things. It was all organized in her vanity. I was just always, I just was I was like, "Oh my gosh, what are these things?" And
Yeah.
I have super curly hair, and I think my family will tell you that I looked like Mowgli because for the longest time, I would not wear a shirt, so I just wore we were poor. I would literally just wear shorts and just walk around, and I had curly hair. I looked insane. But that was just and barefoot. So I looked like I just walked out of the jungle, and I did.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
I don't know if my uncle Johnny has photos. I think that he does and my auntie Linda does, but I have to ask them for photos. I don't really have photos of myself. I don't have any, and I think that's why I have a problem with maybe posting photos. I'm not big on being I like taking it, but for personal reasons I don't really post too much of my grandchildren. That's just, privacy for my daughter. She requested. So I'm being honoring that. But I might make a private Instagram so my family can see the kids. Anyway, oh, you're breaking up again. But a little
I'm just
bit.
sitting here.
Yeah, I know. It's the video quality is different at this time of night for some reason for you.
Oh,
Because for
probably
me,
way more use, probably.
yeah, because for me, I'm recording it, and so this is what it's getting.
Oh, yeah.
This is what the world's gonna get right now. This breakup. This anyway. Yeah. So I didn't have all the nice stuff, just like you. That's when we talk about our similar. We grew up similar. These are the things, the struggle and but then our 20s and 30s and 40s were different. So, like,
Yeah,
relative. Yeah,
I remember being a kid right around the holidays. So in Oregon, it's hit or miss. You can get some white Christmases, or it can snow around Thanksgiving and Christmas sometimes. And so this was one of those years we'd had some snow, and I had this little Western Flyer or Radial Flyer, whatever that little red wagon is that you get, and I took it all apart and I turned it
yeah.
into a sled, and I wrapped myself all up in whatever I could wrap myself up in to stay warm. And
Wow.
I remember I had like 3 or 4 pairs of socks on my hands to keep my hands warm. And I went around and I collected cans and bottles because I had a friend that was going to be coming over to stay the night. And that usually didn't happen because nobody wanted to come over because they're all scared to death of my dad. Um, so I
Hey,
spent from the time I woke up, which I've my whole entire life from the time I'm born to now, I wake up somewhere between 3 and 5 a.m. automatically without an alarm clock. So somewhere between 3 and 5 a.m., I get out of the house, I'm walking around, and yes, as a little kid, I would be gone all day long. My parents could have cared less. I could be 10, 20, 30 miles away from the house when I was first, second, third grade. Didn't matter.
yeah,
So I'm out hunting for cans of bottles, and I had this route kind of that I knew of elderly people and people that I knew from church and stuff that I could go, and they would give me their cans and bottles. In Oregon, cans and bottles you can turn in for a deposit.
yeah.
And so I think bottles were like a dime and cans were a nickel or something like that. So I went around for the whole day. I didn't eat nothing from the time I woke up till the evening time. I went around and collected these cans and bottles. And so I can't remember what I got, like $5 or something. And back then, you could still get like penny and 3 cent candies and all that. So I was making a haul. I remember buying some comic books. And I remember buying like a Mad magazine and this bag of candy. And we were going to have this awesome time. And I was super stoked. And I remember opening the door, and I don't even get it all the way open. And my dad is sitting in the chair in the living room. My sister Jenny is sitting on his lap. And he looks over and he says, "What do you have in the bag? Give your sister half." And I hadn't even set a foot inside the door yet. So I come
No,
walking in, and he comes over and grabs the bag, and he dumps it all out. And him and my sister take whatever they want. He puts the little remainder back in my bag, and that's what I got to have fun with my friend with.
no. Does Jenny feel bad about that story?
She doesn't remember.
She was little.
I'm 4 or 5 years older than her, so she was little.
Yeah,
I was maybe
that breaks my
seven or
heart.
eight, 7 or 8 at that time. So she was like 4 or 5. I
Yeah,
mean,
that,
anyway,
that
that
breaks my
was
heart.
right around the holidays, and that's the stuff that I remember about the holidays.
Yeah. Oh, uh, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to like, I don't know if I can top that one. I'm not trying to top it. I'm just trying to share. I have like, yeah. And you know what's okay? So my parents divorced when I was like 2 because I had my sister and I when they were prom dates in their junior year, and then they had my sister. I can't even remember the math. And then they had me. So they had my sister at 17 and they had me at 18. Um, my sister and I don't think they call it Irish twins. We're both less than a year apart.
Oh yeah,
So we're 11 months and 23 days. She's February 10th and I'm February 5th. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, I think, oh yeah, because so we'd always celebrate our birthdays together. So growing up, birthdays weren't super special to me because I had to share
yeah.
it.
Well,
Oh,
they didn't mean anything. It was just
yeah,
another day.
yeah. And then also my dad's birthday is February 2nd. So we all kind of always did this combo party and a combo cake and all this stuff. And it's like, you never had the day to yourself. When I had it to myself was when I moved to Oregon. And
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I was like, this is my day. But anyway, it's not, I don't make, yeah, I don't make a big deal about it. Like I used to, I really like, it's not a big deal to me, especially like, as you get older and stuff. And I think it was exciting. Um, I don't know when I was going like post divorce because then I had those girlfriends I would have fun with, and that was fun. But other than that, I think just if my kids would do something special or make me a card or like that was, like, my favorite thing when,
Yeah.
Victoria Julia would, like it was something that was homemade and it was from the heart, like, that's the kinda stuff that was touching to me, like, I didn't need some kinda big something oh, boy. I thought I put on do not disturb, but apparently my sister can get through with this really loud,
That
um,
was that was pretty loud.
yeah. I don't know how to I'm gonna show my age. I'm like, "I don't know how to do this." I'm fumbling.
You have her on your exception list. She's one of those people who can get through.
I think so. Let me take her I'm gonna cut her ass off. Hold on.
Give her the
Um,
chop, give her the axe. Well, so are you that big on Halloween? Do you get all
I
dressed up on
actually love
Halloween?
okay. No, I like Halloween. I'm gonna tell you who loves Halloween, my kids and my grandchildren, my granddaughter. Well, Lorenzo doesn't know right now, but he will be he'll be into it. I'm not are you a big Halloween, like, into
That was never a big deal until I got older and you could party. And then when we
oh,
go downtown, you party and see all the women dressed up like hookers and sluts. And so then
I
that was always good, right? Because
you said
women
slut.
dress as women
Well,
dress as slutty as possible on
I did
Halloween. So that was always
yeah.
good.
Well, you know what? Oh my god, you're so crazy. I I don't think I was into it that way because I had gotten I got into a serious relationship at 22 with my you know, and so before we got married, like, I was invited to so many different things because I had gone to Portland State and I was invited to do these different spring break things and all this stuff, but, I was like it was totally axed. It was like it's like, "No, you're not doing that," and I'm like, "Okay, so I can't do stuff with people my age," so I didn't do anything fun like that. I didn't. And then I think we went to a few parties with couples where, people would throw and they're like, obviously they love Halloween
Right.
and they would go all out, but everybody's drunk and everybody's dressed like the women are dressed, a certain way. So I had to dress a certain way because I wanted to look like everybody else, and fit in. And it was um I think a couple of those were like enough for me, but I went to a fun one in downtown Oregon City with Kim, my friend Kim. And I
Mhm.
think I was, like, calling you and stuff, and the whole entire downtown OC, like, they go off, like, they party. Everyone's ca it's freezing, but you're bar hopping, and it's a really fun place to live. Um, you lived there.
Yeah.
And remember, I think I told you to come downtown, and you're like, "Nope, I'm fine." You were seriously, like, 4 minutes away. I was like, "Come on, come down here." Um, but I think for I wanna start Halloween traditions with you because, um like, I want, like I've never done, like I wanted to, like, go to a costume party with you and stuff, you know?
Well, Joel and Michelle, they they're very social, and so they dress up and always have like interesting costumes. I don't remember hardly ever dressing up, hardly ever. I remember Chad and I dressing up one year as Fred and Barney, so that was fun. I remember as a little kid, I was in high school or something. My buddy Joel Burks and I, we dressed up like grandma and grandpa, and then the rest of the people dressed up like our grandkids. And so I remember doing that. And I remember one year getting one of those really cheap, chintzy, some kind of a superhero with a plastic mask, the
Plastic
plastic mask that goes right here that you have the rubber band that brings around your head, and it
cut
had
and
like a cape. And so I remember that and thinking I was all cool and running around because I had a cape. Um, I remember, I think Scott and Todd and I one year we all dressed up, and I think we did like Kiss rock star faces when I had like camouflage on or something. We were like teenagers walking around getting candy.
oh my
We go up to
god.
my grandparents' house. I think we have pictures somewhere at my grandparents' house, and they're like, "You guys are gonna go trick or treating?" We're like, "Hell yeah, it's free candy!"
Oh my gosh.
And
You
then, of
know what?
course, as you get older and you go bar hopping, of course, then you're chasing women, and all the women use that as an excuse to dress like as sexy and slutty as possible. So we're like, "Hell yeah,
Yeah,
let's go downtown."
yeah. No, I did all the kid stuff. See, I didn't do all that, and I was passing out candy and walking the kids around to keep them safe from psychos and stuff, so and as they got older, we had lived in this my kids' friends will understand, like, we lived in this one neighborhood where it's like everybody kinda lived on a, like, a half acre, but ours was you had to go up this really long driveway, that we shared with, it's like an easement we shared with our other neighbor. And then our driveway was super long. And then you had to go up like 30 stairs to get to our front door. It was very like, because you from far, it was like, oh, it's like that house was beautiful, but it was like, it was very extra. You know what I mean? And I would say we first couple we never had like I was okay, the first time we got somebody, I was so excited. Like I wanted to give that child all the candy. I could not believe they walked all the way to our door. And so we never really got trick-or-treaters, but and then the house I bought in Oregon City, of course, it was tucked away in this scary little corner by trees, like no one would ever go there. But this place I live in, Wilsonville, it's there's so many. I mean, it was fun. It's so fun to see all the children and then like you were on the phone with me when I was whenever like the I was FaceTiming you and I'm like, "What are you?" It was so cute and to pass out candy and then my grandchildren are dressed up. It was so adorable. But I'm excited because everyone, I want Brian to wear a Superman costume. This is like my um request.
We're s- we're still talking
Request.
about Halloween, or are we talking about the bedroom?
Stop it. Oh my God. Okay, both.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah. So yeah, like I would be excited to see you, and I'm sure we could find some place. We have to make friends, baby. We have to make friends as a couple.
Yeah,
Like you have your friends, and I have my friends, but we have to like make, you know, with whatever when we're down there and we do stuff, and that'll be so exciting. Like I'm not looking to party until I throw up. I don't want a hangover. Like I'm not into that anymore.
I know
Uh,
we're only going to party till like 7:30.
exactly. 9 at the latest.
Seven
Um,
thirty, 7:45. Really, really pushing it, maybe 8 p.m.
that's like when people are going to just start and then like, oh, we got here. Oh, gotta go now. Bye.
Yeah,
Just gonna be here to show face. That's what they call in Hawaii. Show face. Showing
yep.
our face. No, I'm excited to do these traditions to create our own. Um, I think we've touched on this before, being a couple in our 50s, and you realize like how fortunate we are to find each other because and to have a real love and a want to grow together. Um, because I've never had that before, and I'm excited to experience all these things with you because um
It'll be fun.
yeah, there's so much more to like do and to have this new chapter with you. And you know, I feel like okay, I already raised kids and you've done so many other things yourself. You've helped raise some kids too because you helped raise your siblings and you've helped raise other children. And so kind of like those things that are so heavy when you're a couple and you have to deal with a lot, it's like you and I aren't going to have that. Like, of course, I have my
Yep.
kids and my grandkids, but um, it's a different dynamic, like they're their own
Yeah.
people, they're their own adults. And
Well, they're
um,
going to be out there creating their own traditions and doing their own
yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah. And it's exciting for me. And I feel so proud of Julia when I see her doing these things because she's a single mom. And I'm just so proud of her because she works so hard and it's so important to her for her to build like these positive traditions with her children,
Yeah.
and it's so sweet. And I heard Giovanna's because like this morning was like the second time she had put out Elf on the Shelf, and so she put her in the bathtub last night because before Giovanna went to bed she told me, wouldn't it be funny if I don't know if she's trying to trick me, but she goes, "Wouldn't it be funny if he was in my bathtub?" I go in there and he's in my bathtub. So I told that to Julia, and I guess when she was brushing her teeth this morning, she saw him in there, spotted him, and there's like a giant scream. There's some screaming. But I'm sleeping and cause she gets up early. So it's so funny and it's so cute. And I just love it. I just love because it's so interactive when you do these things, and it's like it's you're creating these memories for them, and I did that with the girls. Like, I would write a note from Santa, um, and I would make it like this really beautiful cursive, and, like, we would drink, well, I think Jeff would pour the milk out or drink it and then take a bite, eat some cookies, leave some crumbs, would eat some of the carrots and stuff, and, um, so the whole thing, right? And Julia, she told me how she found out because she said when she was little, she must have been, I think she was like 5, she said. She just told me
This is
this
like
day.
last year. She just found out last year.
She told me, like, I gotta put my socks on, my feet are freezing. Um, I'm in Oregon. So she told me that she said, okay, she told herself, she's telling herself this. She's like, next year when, I asked Santa for something, because we'd bring them to Santa, right? The creep, whatever. I'm not gonna say creepy, but
In the
when people
department
would
store or something?
huh?
In like a department store or something?
Yeah. So at Clackamas Town Center,
Right.
we lived in like Milwaukee and then Happy Valley, but so we would bring them there, and then we would say, oh, what did you ask Santa for? And so they would tell us, and they'd be so excited to let us know. So she had this plan hatched when she was like 5, that the next year, maybe she was like 6, she was like, the next year when I'm gonna ask Santa for something, and if I tell my parents and then I get it, then that means that, like, she had this thing where she was gonna test us.
Figure it out. She's going to
So,
figure it out.
oh, because she said, whenever I see something, we go shopping and I say, oh, I really like that. And then I ask Santa for it or whatever. And then that's when I get it. So she said she was going to devise a plan. So they saw this really cute person, Macy's, and don't judge me, but it was these little cute little mini like Dooney and Burke horses. They're expensive. And it was like white and it had like, the emblem, but it was like colorful. They were kind of gaudy, but they loved it for some reason. And so, like, they were like, oh my God, I really want that, And so I had went and got it, and Jeff and I were like, okay, do you get Percy? I would like, so he knew about this one, right? And so they unwrapped it, and, Victoria is all about, oh my God, Santa, he knew. He, he's amazing. He's magical. He found, like, how, Victoria's like, she's smiling. She's so happy. And Julia's standing there, literally standing there going, her face is like, what? She's like, she's just like, she goes, and that's when I knew. And I'm like, and then she came to me, she told me, like, and we told her, like, don't you tell your sister. So, like, Yaya, or Victoria, we call her Yaya. We let it go like a year longer for Victoria, and then Julia. I I don't know how Victoria found out, or she knew. I don't know. I know that Julia, like, loved having the secret that she knew Santa wasn't. We were Santa, and that Yaya was like so excited for Santa still yet, and she'd be like, psst. She told me, she reminded me, this is how she found out. She devised a plan. I was like, oh my gosh, this child. Um, yeah. So that's how she found out. For me, I didn't believe because the chimney thing. And of course, in Hawaii, they make like this big thing where it's on the news where Santa's coming in on
Oh,
the
yeah. And they have like
on
the
the
timer and the,
outrigger, yeah, on
oh,
the
yeah.
canoe or whatever. It's like like what? Not canoe, but you know what I mean, outrigger or
The
whatever.
sleigh is going over right now. It's, yeah.
Yeah. No, so he would be riding the wave-in. So they show him, Hawaiian Santa, whatever, and it's like, I still did not believe, because I'm like, no. And also because I'd never went to go sit and ask us. I'd never asked.
Right.
No one ever brought us to go see a Santa, and um, yeah, I think when you kind of have the childhood that we had, because we won't, it's very hard. You don't really believe and stuff like that,
And you're dirt
So
poor. I mean, I think there's a certain amount of fantasy that exists. And if you can afford it, then sure, then you can afford it. And if you can't,
Yeah.
And there's probably not a whole lot of illusions because
Yeah.
you're not getting anything anyway.
Yeah. And we got, gifts and stuff. And a lot of times my dad and my stepmom, they're artists. And so they would make things that were beautiful. And I think that's why I appreciate homemade things so much. It's like my sister still does it. She
Yeah.
makes homemade gifts. It's the sweetest thing. And she'll make it for my grandchildren. I feel bad because I'll just like Amazon a gift over to her grandchild. I'm like, what is she? This is how I send a gift. Send me the link. Send
Yep.
me the link of what she wants.
Yep.
It's so sad. But you know what? I personalize the tag. I
Oh,
do.
there you go.
I do.
Perfect.
I just say something in it.
Perfect.
I don't know if it gives it a tag. Isn't it just like on the box or something? Oh boy. I live in Oregon. So, and but yeah, I love, like, we found these things that we want to do that are look so cool to do with the kids. So I'm excited to do that with them here. And I'm excited to just I've actually found a lot of stuff to do in Arizona. So when we're together, which is gonna be like I feel like it's been like a long climb and we're not even there yet, but
What's your
just
goal
the
date?
knowing. Huh?
What's your goal date?
Well, let's see. Yaya's getting married end of June. Yaya and Kale. So I was thinking like, I don't know, like August? Because I have to like, I don't
I don't
know. We
know.
can talk about it later. I mean, should I move to Arizona in the middle of summer? I don't know. I don't know.
Not me.
We can talk about it off camera.
Well, if we're
So
gonna have a countdown, gotta have a date.
yeah, we'll pick one. We'll pick one. Um, no, so I'm excited. Your Christmas stories made me sad. I'm sure I have. I just can't remember.
Well, we'll just have to make some better ones. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's all then. You can't change then. Can
Yeah.
only change what's gonna happen in the future. So we'll just make better, more different Christmas stories.
Yeah. You know what I remember from Christmas, which was like my grandmother would buy like all of these like those Danish cookie tins, like
Oh
the
yeah.
cookies. It was like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
blue container, different colors, but I
Blue and
just remember.
red. They're usually like a blue and red
Yeah,
container.
yeah,
Yep.
blue and red. So she would always buy like a
The butter
bunch, right?
cookies.
Oh my god, I love them, and I have a recipe for them, so I'm so excited to make it. I might go make it tonight. Every time I make something or bake something, you guys, I text Brian the photo, and I told my daughter July, "Oh, I feel so bad because you love food and I love to bake and cook and I feel like, oh, I think I made him sad by sending him that picture of those muffins or cookies or I made up my own really good muffin recipe. So, and the kids love it. So I'm going to make it,
So there we go.
on,
That'll be fun at Christmas. That'll be fun at Thanksgiving.
yeah. So we'll have to like figure Stella out because she, alternates with her holidays. So, um, I want to make sure we're here for them too. So, and especially like Christmas because you're so flexible, which is amazing. So, yeah. Anyway, we'll figure it all out. What was I saying? Look at my brain just go like kaput on me. I
Talking about
interrupt.
butter cookies and the tins and the
Yes. Okay. Okay. So, okay. I really felt like it was like, I know it's probably not proper to say, but it was like slave labor because she would buy all these tins. She would hand us this wrapping paper and say, here, wrap all of this. And I'm like, so it was like as a child, I had my back hurt. I don't know if you just have a sore back when you're a child, but I'm 5 and my back is in pain because I'm sitting on the living room floor, spread eagle, like, I mean, assembly line. Me, my sister and I think she got a couple of our cousins in there, my cousin Christy and Seachel. Like, we had to wrap all of these tins because this woman she was sales and marketing, man. She was out there handing out these tins like Merry Christmas. Like it's very personalized. I just wrapped it just for you just now. But girlfriend kept it in her closet. She had it ready to go, and she made like, she knew how to she was networking. She was a networker, and so but she had her little slave team wrapping all and it's not easy to wrap those round tins. This is what I'm trying to get at. You have to do and you have to, like, constantly in the tape, and then it's like
Yeah.
and then at the end, I made mine so ugly sometimes, and my sister, she's like a kind of a perfectionist. She likes to do things she's like an administrative assistant. She likes everything very organized. Maybe you got it with the wrong sister, I don't know. So, anyway, you could tell the ones that I didn't care at the end. I'm like, they were so ugly.
Merry frickin' Christmas.
Yeah, that's how I felt after I wrapped. I was like, "Oh god, my back." It's like I'm in kindergarten. I'm like, "Ugh, pain."
Well, toughened you up.
That's one of my it's one of my core memories. It's so warm and fuzzy. God,
Yeah. Well, like I said, we'll just have to make new memories.
yeah. Oh, you know what I love from Costco? That's like it comes out during Christmas, and it comes in that red cookie tin. I think it's called David's Cookies, and it's like those Mexican wedding cookies, pecan, and I'm gonna have to go to Costco tomorrow. Anyway, um, yes, I like that. That one, it's like they need to make smaller versions because that big giant Costco version is just like, come on. I cannot pile more weight on this tiny, like I'm only not even 5 feet tall. I can't do it anymore. But it's
When
so
I was
tempting.
trying to pack on weight for back in the day when I was lifting and trying to gain weight, I remember I looked forward to the holidays because the eggnog, so I could put eggnog in my shakes.
Oh, okay. I you know what? I've only really had eggnog once.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
eggnog, of course, is definitely not good for you. Man, I'd load that up on my shakes, pack a bunch of calories in there, and you betcha.
I wonder if it'd be good. Do people like rum? I'm gonna try with rum. Is that what's in it?
I don't know what you put in eggnog. I mean, yeah, but
Uh,
it's an alcoholic drink. I didn't put that in my smoothie, of course, but yeah, it's an alcoholic drink.
maybe you should have.
Maybe I should have. Yeah, yeah, for
I have
sure.
a feeling I'll never see you drunk. You've seen me tipsy, but
I wouldn't say never, but yeah, it'd be extremely unlikely.
yeah, I feel like yeah. Oh, you know what I want to? Well, I'll just talk about it next another time. My brain hops all over the place. So I'm
Well,
self-diagnosed
if you've
ADHD.
got if you've got another topic, better write it down so you don't forget it like you forgot all the other ones.
I know I have to use Siri for to take notes for me because when I'm driving, well, I'm in the shower. I can't, you know, take notes that way. But I mean, I guess I could. I mean, it's I can. There's always a way. This is how I have to change
Yeah,
my thought process now. You know.
mindset.
So yes, if I want it, then I have to just get it done.
Got to figure it out. That's right.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what's so funny with that um mindset? Giovanna, whenever she'll ask me to help her with something or do something else, she'll request for something. I'm like, oh no, I can't. Coco can't do that. My grandkids call me Coco. That's why I call her Coco. But so, but her answer's always like, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. I think I've told you this, right?
Yep.
Like, and Julie and I would look at each other, we just crack up because it's like she like she she does not see that everything is possible for her,
Uh-huh.
and I love it. Like her energy. Oh my god, it's like oh my gosh, just her mindset. It's everything is possible,
It's not
and
tainted
it's
and polluted yet.
yeah, and just like I just love that about her. Like everything is possible, and then but if if we can't do it because if it just can't, yeah, she's taller, so stuff will happen.
A little screaming, a little fit throwing.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I have to go upstairs. Sorry, bye. I just go up here. Um, but I just love that about her. So see how I can just get off topic so easily?
Good job.
Look at me go.
Good job. That's why I
Um,
tell you on these things, we have no problem with content. Just keep on going. But we're almost at an hour, so you want to wrap
yeah,
this up?
yeah. Why don't we do that?
Did you write down your next topic so you didn't forget?
No,
Oh,
I'm gonna
okay.
do it though.
Okay. Well, if we're going to wrap this up, I guess we'll kind of tell everybody, happy holidays and Merry Christmas, and hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving and all of that sort of stuff. And hopefully you
Cutting out
guys
really
will. I'm cutting out really bad.
Yeah, it's like really now you're kind of sort of not, but before you were very
Oh, geez. Well,
or yeah, I
what
don't
I'm
know what's
saying
going
is
on right now.
happy holidays
Happy holidays.
and Merry Christmas. And hopefully everybody enjoys the holidays and enjoyed our stories. Hopefully you guys can make some good memories. Um, we'd like to thank all of you for watching and listening to us today. And for all of you that would like to get in touch with us, go ahead and leave any kind of comments or anything in the comments section. Feel free to leave us a review if you want. Don't forget to follow the show on your favorite streaming platforms like YouTube and what's the other one? Spotify and all those. That way you can stay up to date on the latest news and episodes. And thanks for sharing in our journey. And we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Bye.
All right. Love you, babe.
Love you too. Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye.